it takes a ton of games to actually see results happen,
Mm-hmm.
which is normal, I understand, but like I don't know, I feel like I put a lot of time and dedication into it, so I feel like I should see more results quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Okay.
think there might be something I'm doing wrong that, I'm not seeing that someone at a higher level would be able to see.
Okay. Okay. I see. Can you link me your Dota buff?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we'll just go over some like general game concepts, and I'll try to like as you said, it's not very simple, and it's hard to do everything now in 1 hour, but like get you started at changing a bit your view of the game.
Hmm.
Um, and like there are a couple main concepts that most lower level players like don't entirely understand. It's
Right.
usually stuff like the difference is not as big as you think. It's just like placing enough like the right priorities in your head of different stuff in the game,
Hmm.
because very often like to be a good player, like let's say a lot of people say what does it take to be a 6K player or 7K player, and a lot of the components, so to speak, even lower level players already have them. Like they have some of them, but things you need
Right.
all of them to actually be able to reach that level, right? So from your heroes, I see you play mostly carry safe lane, and yeah, a couple mid heroes I see.
Yeah. Generally the safe lane.
All right, so I mean just pick whatever like your preferred hero. Doesn't matter too much.
Okay.
But I mean it's always better if it's something you're familiar with, so we can
Yeah.
focus on like game concepts and not the hero that much.
Sure. Sure.
And obviously I will be mostly ignoring like the small stuff like, oh, you missed this spell, or you should have stepped here, or you missed this last hit, or stuff like that. It's not really, doesn't change too much.
Gotcha.
Also, like be prepared. I don't know if you've tried coaching before, but
Mhm.
you have or not.
Oh, no, no, I have not.
Yeah. So especially like coaching like this, you will most likely play a bit worse than usual because you're also trying to listen to me, and that's
Right.
completely fine. Like, don't worry about it, or yeah, it's just an unranked game anyway. Um, I mean, I will try not to like talk non-stop, so you can at least still think about the game. But obviously, I also want to say stuff, so that's just how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. I get it, man. Um, I guess when you queue up, do you just pick whatever you're feeling for, or do you actually try to like counter pick and all that?
It depends. Like if I'm like practicing a hero, like I know, like I talk with my team, like they want to pick some hero for me, then I
Yeah.
might like have like a couple heroes that I just like 2 3 heroes that I just spam a bit and try to get a feel for, even like, into counters and stuff. And those are going to be
Hmm.
usually like the strong heroes of the patch.
Right.
Like for example, I play mostly mid, and like Lina is one of the better heroes this patch, so I had a period where I just picked Lina a lot, even first pick, and I didn't really care about counters that much, just to get
Gotcha.
comfortable. But if I'm like looking to climb, then yeah, I do also counter pick and wait for last pick. But
Hmm.
it's um it's not a sure way to get rating. Like it can help, but it's also a bit of a mindset thing. Um, so I wouldn't worry too much about draft. I mean, we can discuss a little bit like what heroes are good against what, so you have a bit of a way to think about it. But don't feel like yeah, if you don't have the optimal pick every game, then you're not gonna climb. Like that's always not the case. So
Right. Hmm.
you can win even with not great pick. That's especially the case for safe lane heroes because like I get one of the things that can go wrong, so to speak, in pubs if you want to like have as much impact as possible is if your hero isn't able to pressure towers on his own. Then you could say like yeah, because if your team refuses to push and you're a hero that cannot push by himself, then yeah, you can have like problems closing out the game. But
Right.
pretty much every safe laner is a right clicker, so like that should not be an issue. You can always force towers on your own. So yeah, it's a pretty decent jug game. Pretty much just the Enigma that's a bit annoying.
Mhm.
And that jug is actually should be good for this because he's a very, how to say, methodical hero. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
You have like clear goals. Item build doesn't change too much from game to game. So yeah, your jugger, one of the first key things to look at is how can enemies stop your spin TP, and in this case it's only black hole. So like that's the one here you have to worry about, and since it's like a massive cooldown and stuff, you should feel relatively safe split pushing this game. I mean, you should feel very safe if Enigma is showing anywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this build, I mean, it's pretty much standard, like double slipper and stuff. Solve is it's good if you expect like a aggressive duel lane or something. Some people are gonna fight you, like you're gonna trade a lot of hits. You're gonna tank some nukes and get really low. You wanna solve up. In this case, it's actually I'm not sure. I was thinking Enigma offlane, but it's probably not because they have an Underlord. So I guess it's Enigma jungle and Underlord offlane. But whichever one of the two, like their damage is sustained. So the 8 tangos might be a bit better than tango solve. But yeah, not the biggest deal though.
Yeah.
So what kind of items are you thinking about getting this game?
I was thinking Sanjin Yasha to Shadowblade, and then into Silver Edge.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could just do like the regular, like the Manta to Diffusal Blink. That's kind of the more common one.
Yeah, that's the common one.
Fairly easy, yeah.
But yeah, Sanjay got buffed pretty heavily, and it's also really good on jug. So there's not really anything great to remove with Manta, like Malefice. But I mean, Malefice and Root, that's it. But you know, you can also spin them off. So I think getting the Sanjay is fine for this game. Lets you hit your power spike a lot earlier. It's a very interesting Pit of Malice. Maybe he thinks it deals damage, I don't know. Not sure why he did. So, already have 2 range creeps. Wanna...
Yeah, pushing. Yeah.
Lich fixes that, I guess. So yeah, lane stage is gonna be not too exciting, I guess. Just do your last hitting thing, and again, like I'm not really gonna mention too much like details about laning because it's not. Again, like a lot of lower level players are very like hyped about laning, especially mid players. I noticed a lot. Like they spend so much time thinking about mid lane mechanics and how to win the lane and stuff like that. But it's really not the way to actually improve significantly.
It's not.
It's important, but it's extremely overrated in terms of like actually winning the game. And I see far too many players that are like, even in my games, like lane against someone and like, wow, this guy's actually pretty good on lane. But then after that, they just feel quite clueless. So yeah, like being good at laning is always important, and it's not something you should ignore, but it's also not gonna be what wins you games.
Right.
And if you get good at other stuff like more general game stuff, awareness and whatnot, then you can win a lot more games, even if you do lose the lane occasionally. Even if you do get outplayed on the lane, so yeah.
I find Juggernaut's one of the easier heroes to recover with.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's very
He's one
stable.
of my most played. That's for the exact reason.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that being said, we can already like talk about how the game is gonna go. Yeah, and also first of all, some general like solo queue mentality. Like the kind of mindset you should be in is like this stuff might be obvious, it might not, but I'm just gonna mention it anyway. Like, for example, when you talk to your teammates during the game, you should never bring up stuff that already happened, because it doesn't improve your chances of winning if you like discuss who fucked up when and like what should have happened and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've actually just turned off in the settings just the team chat.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because when they start adding to it, I don't know why, I just feel like I need to add to it too. I've just decided I do a lot better when I don't know what they're saying.
That's it's not a bad approach if you want to improve on your own. Alright, so about this game specifically, again, like I mentioned, the name was like the one big threat to you. Conka is like, can't really punish your split push, because as long as you have your spin. And Invoker is also quite vulnerable, like it's a hero that gets a slow start. He is actually a Quas X Invoker. Viper already killed him once. Yeah, so your team is like being quite aggressive, even tanking is roaming. Viper is a hero that applies a lot of pressure, so you can expect the enemy team to be quite busy with him. Like he's gonna be diving towers, they're gonna be reacting to him and whatnot, so that means you will get quite some space. And yeah, obviously you wanna get like you didn't buy the phase boots yet, which I kinda like because you haven't really had anyone laning against you so far. And I think you could just get a quick Aquila already. You have the money for it. Also, because
Aquila over the quick phase boots.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, you could have already had the phase boots, and you can still buy them from the side shop. Like you're not gonna need them for this kill, for example.
True.
But alright, never mind. Courier is already used. I mean it's a bit of a like courier mindset. Like you know that if there's an item you can buy from the shop, like the side shop, then you kind of just leave that for later and you get the. But yeah, now courier is used. It's whatever. It's not the biggest deal. My point is you do want like the Bazzi as soon as possible, so you have the aura, so you can actually pressure the lane. Because you already got like a pretty substantial lead, and chances are like the enemy heroes won't be able to really contest you on the lane anymore. And yeah, you want to leverage that by actually pressuring the tower. This patch, like it's all about applying constant pressure, and it's pretty much never the right play to like sit back and just take space. Like a lot of previous patches were about getting a ton of Midases and stuff, and being like efficient and whatnot, but this patch is all about applying pressure. Oh yeah, but just pinging that your Achilles still on the career. So yeah, if you do get a good lead, like a good early game as a carry, good laning stage, instead of like going full greed and I could get a super fast Midas, like that's a way to kind of throw away your advantage. And instead of that, if you just get like efficient, strong early game items, you can just, push, get towers, get kills, and keep increasing your lead that way, while also keeping your enemies down instead of being passive and letting them catch up. Like here, that's a kill if you want me to search. Yeah, you don't want to force it. Like at this point, I mean, especially the Underlord, he's like doesn't have anything, and killing him doesn't give you that much. Like it's of course not bad to kill him, but let's say you dive the tower, you kill him, and then you have no mana, no HP. You kind of
Yeah.
have to go back or ferry regen or some shit. Like that's not as good as just getting him low, letting him walk all the way back to base, waste a ton of time, and that gives you time to hit the tower.
Right.
So, I mean, that was a bit of a passive move. I mean, you have like still 3 tangles and a solve. It's okay to like tank a couple tower hits if you damage them a bit with Blade Fury. Yeah, not a big deal. I mean, here it's just a free kill. So I already started thinking about like, ferrying out a clarity or 2. Just so you can keep up the aggression and keep your mana topped off. Like at some point you can spin a wave and finish the tower.
Right.
Keep in mind
Do
you
you
could.
think it's good to push early, or?
Yeah, so I mean especially with a hero like Jugger. Like it's bad if there's a risk of you dying, but there's literally no risk because like we talked about, only threatening spells, Black Hole and Enigma's not even level 6 yet. So. Yeah, keep in mind you can even like, if there's no enemy heroes around, you can tank the tower while solving up. Because I don't think you're gonna be forced to use the solve any other way.
Yeah. Yeah. I generally just buy it just in case.
Yeah. If you do want to do that, like, remember you can A-click any enemy hero on the map to draw aggro.
Yeah.
Right, so Enigma TP, it must be 6 by now.
Your bottom tower is under attack. Your bottom tower is under attack.
I'll take your tribute. There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity.
Right, you have a catapult wave now, that should be a tower. I mean, looks like I might not be very lucky with this game if it's this one side.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be too much to talk about.
Radiant structures are fortified. The enemy's top tower.
Well, at this point, do you think it'd still be bad to be trying to force the next tower just because it's so early, or do you think it would be better to?
I mean, I wouldn't force it in the sense that like you spin the creeps and stuff. Actually, I mean, now you see 4 heroes mid, so yeah, you can just do it freely. There's no real risk.
Because I never try to push towers like too far in like the first 20 minutes.
First 20 minutes, I mean, it's just really hard to say. Like, there are games where it's a really bad idea.
Yeah.
But in a case like this, there's really not that much risk. You could TP mid right now though, and okay, just run there.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
But yeah, they still have a tier 1 bottom, so you could also just go migrate to that lane, force the Slark away, because you're a lot stronger. And, yeah. Oh, could you use mid? Your Yasha is not on it.
Yeah, keep taking it. Figured it's best just to let him get it rather than start the pinging.
I mean, it's not bad to develop some top courier usage habits. Like, I tend to like put whatever items on as soon as I can. Like, for example, in the case of a Yasha, as soon as you have the money for Blade of Alacrity and Recipe, just buy it. And in case someone uses it before you farm like the last component, then you can like use it after and get like the Band of Elves skin from the side shop, for example.
Yeah.
Or like Manta Recipe, etc.
It's generally how it goes. It's just this kind of laid back game.
Yeah.
The enemy's bottom
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like it's gonna be a bit of a stomp. Quite a stomp, rather.
Your middle tower is under attack.
I mean, I don't know if it's just bad luck or maybe your,
Middle tower is under attack.
I believe unranked uses like some hidden MMR, so maybe if that's very, if that's like lower than your actual MMR.
Yeah, it might be. I don't really play too much of unranked.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, like that's the only way to do coaching.
Yeah.
So I mean, here's where we have the solve, we have healing wards, team doesn't particularly need you, so you could just force the tower, because you can like tank it for a very long time. With the ward and the solve. I mean, do you have, if you have some replay you like in line last few days that you like remember somewhat well, we could go over that,
Sure.
or you
Yeah,
wanna
there's
give this another try?
Sure, we can look at some replays,
Yeah.
some lost matches or something.
If you have, do you have Skype? Because that's the best
Yeah.
way. Yeah, then we can do that with screen share. I'll just share my screen and yeah, go over it. Like it's. So is there a common theme you notice like in your losses where things usually go wrong?
Generally, just what it feels like is like the laning phase. Just not enough farm, or just like the team is just like demoralized way early, things like that. I don't know.
But is it just the team or you as well? Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, there's always things I could be better with, and I generally try not to add to like flaming and all that. But
no, what I mean is like, do you have, for example, can you think of games where your lane stage went very badly, but like you were still able to recover and stuff and have a normal game afterwards? Or do you feel like you really kind of rely on winning the lane stage?
I mean, it's not very common, but nothing that I can think of from memory.
Right. We can go through some replay. The reason I'm bringing it up though is because that's what I was talking about, having like the right mindset. So the way you should look at Dota is like there's two modes of playing, and that's either from ahead or from when you're behind. And a lot of like lower level players have this issue where they don't like playing from behind, obviously. So every time they do fall behind, they don't try as much, give up
Yeah.
easily, like you said, and that like leads to this like spiral effect where they just don't try, they don't learn how to play from behind properly. They obviously still like try very hard when they're ahead, so they do improve a little bit, but it just increases this disparity until at some point they're at this level where if they fall behind, like they have no idea what to do, and they can basically only play in one manner, and it's just like not a very good understanding of the game. So
Yeah, I
If-
feel like it's generally like just getting when the other team's more farmed than you are, like it's like debating between pushing or fighting or farming. I think that's like where
your
I struggle a lot.
your options just become more limited, or like the plays that are possible are fewer, so you have to like think a bit harder, and that's generally what like it obviously doesn't feel nice when like if you compare it to when you're ahead, you can kind of do whatever. Like you have a big item advantage, you can solo kill heroes that normally you can't, stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a very different mindset, and it is very important to practice it though, because when you do get a little bit good at it, like you don't have to be crazy good, but you notice that just by not getting destroyed when you fall behind, and just like you're not gonna be making anything happen per se, because like I said, you have way less chances when you're behind, so you're not really making anything happen, but you're also not like completely demoralized, and you're still waiting for an opportunity, and your enemies will give you opportunities because they're also like not very good, and even if they're ahead, especially if they're ahead, they're gonna play cocky, they will make some mistakes because they're used to their enemies not trying anymore.
Yeah.
And that's why they'll make some mistakes, they'll feed you like a large kill bounty, and then you're gonna be back in the game.
Right.
And that's how you win those, what feel like unwinnable games, or games that you were supposed to lose, you win them, and that's how you actually climb. Because again, like most players at their respective MMRs, if they have a good start, they can close out the game fairly decently.
I'll take that as
And it's also like, in order to do that, you need to kind of make that mental switch in the game. Like, I've had a lot of games where like things are looking okay at the start, but then I don't know, you get like wiped 1 or 2 fights in a row, lose Roche or something, and I just like think to myself, alright, the only way we win now is if the enemies fuck up. And
Yeah.
the thing is, they will. It's just you have to realize that you cannot make anything happen on your own, and you kind of have to like wait for the opportunity to present itself. But yeah, the biggest thing is that you actually adjust your playstyle, and you don't do stuff that you maybe normally you will be able to. But I mean, if we take Juggernaut as an example, like this is like your, I mean, okay, this is a game where you're stomping, but like your average Jugger game, I don't know, let's say if there's any Orchid here on the enemy team, usually you're gonna get your Manta before they get their Orchid. Like average Manta timing is like what, 19-20 minutes or so. And so even if there's a Queen of Pain or a Storm or something, you should get your Manta about like at the same time as they get their Orchid, even if they're having a good game. But let's say you're getting wrecked and the Storm has a bunch of kills, you maybe died a couple times on lane, so your Manta is delayed, you need like 1,000 gold for it, and the other guy already has Orchid. So I mean that's just like a very, very obvious example, but like then yeah, you cannot go alone on a lane to split push because you're gonna die because you don't have your Manta. So like that's where you need to like adjust and farm safely, not die to the orchid, get your manta a few minutes later, and then you can do it again. But it's very common that someone will try to farm alone anyway because they're used to like, oh, I should have manta already by this minute in most games. Then they die and they get even more tilted. And yeah. That's a pretty common way to lose games.
Yeah.
I mean, so it looks like game is already FK. If you want, maybe look over your last couple of replays, see if there's one you think is suitable.
Sure.
I'll send you my Skype on Discord, you can add me.
Your top tower is under attack.
Another thing is, how are you with like safe lane is your preferred role, but
Yeah.
do you have a
Safe and then mid. I don't really try to support too much. Or
I'm sure there are games where you don't get this, like, get to play the role though. So, what do you do in those games?
Say it again?
Like, there have to be some solo queue games where you don't get to play your role. So, what do you do then?
Generally, just like I try to move to the jungle or something.
Alright, so that's already.
I mean, I'd look for like the. I always look for the safe lane pick, then the med pick, then the off lane pick with like a carry-ish role, and then if it was to support, then it's generally Crystal Maiden. That's generally about it.
Right, so that's obviously a big thing as well. If you're like, obviously your goal is to win as many games as possible, right? Climb in rating. So having a preferred role is fine, but it's important that you also have, for like your not preferred roles, to have at least like, I think 2 is enough, like 2 comfort heroes that you can make sure that if you don't get the role, like you have something that you can pick for a different role, and at least
fall back on.
yeah, like at least you know how to play the hero in that role, even if like the role is not very, like offlane is a specific example, like because offlane is probably the hardest role, like the role you need to know the most about, like you need to have the most experience. So being good at offlane takes, I don't know, like maybe 200 offlane years. It's just a random number, it doesn't matter. But being good at like, I don't know, Nyx offlane, you can learn that in like only 10 games maybe. And yeah, you're not gonna have the sickest offlane understanding, but at least you know how to play Nyx offlane.
Yeah.
So, and that's gonna give you like a huge edge in your games where, yeah. Because, I mean, we could look at I think Dota has that option. If not, then Open Dota probably has it. You can check out your win rates, like depending on where you're laning or what role you're playing. And if you notice that your win rates are like sub 50 on not mid or carry, then obviously that's a that's an area you can easily increase your win rate at. Like, Crystal Maiden is okay, but you don't want to be, that guy that just says they're supporting but actually just jungles and doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Alright, so did you get my message on Discord? Maybe on Skype?
Yeah, I did. Okay.
Yeah, because there's a bit of delay usually on Skype. It takes like a minute for me to see it.
Alright, Skype now?
Yeah, I don't see your ad request yet though.
1 second.
Alright, there we go. Got it. Alright, calling there.
Okay.
Hello. So, yeah, just go ahead and send me match ID. Whatever replay you want to go over.
Sure. 1 second. This is a good one. This is just yesterday. 1 second.
Alright, let's see. Yeah, this was a party game. Shouldn't matter too much. Okay, I'm sharing screen. Can you see it?
It's loading. Yeah, I can see.
Alright. Right, replays decompressing. So First of all, picks. So Queen of Pain. They have pretty good heroes against you. Obviously, it's good to be able to jump the sniper, but yeah, there's like a lot of lockdown between Shaker, Rubik, Disruptor. Itemization is not very simple. I mean, you basically need the BKB before you can like really go in. Like before that, you kind of have to go for the single supports, but it's kind of rough. Skill build needs to find most. This was maybe could be replay bug. I mean, yeah, you want to max screen by 7. Obviously. Yeah, so talents. Generally, the standard Queen of Pain talents are basically the exact opposite of what you took here. And like that's what you should be going majority of games, which is just the HP and the cooldown reduction. Like the strength plus HP.
Rather than the others?
Yeah, so first of all, the damage one, it's like your damage is mostly going to be coming from spells. So right click damage, yeah, it doesn't really do that much for you. Like there aren't really going to be any cases with Queen of Pain where the damage talent allows you to get a kill that you wouldn't get otherwise, right? Because you have like the dagger DOT, like your chasing ability is amazing and stuff. So in that sense, the other thing is that the strength is nice if there's gonna be like massive clashes, but in the majority of games, having the shorter cooldown on blink is gonna mean a lot more for your survivability than extra HP. So generally, like skill build wise, you wanna like max the blink before even taking any talent whatsoever. 90 GPM. I've seen a lot of Queen of Pain players take it, so it's like not super uncommon, but like if you just think about it, it's like 90 GPM on a core. It's like 2 creeps per minute. Like those 2 creeps, you know, if the cooldown reduction is just so much more likely to give you benefit in the long run, because like cooldown reduction, like when you blink, like it might make a difference between living or dying, or getting an extra scream off, getting a kill, not getting stuff like that. Like, cooldown reduction is just very valuable on this hero, especially because you tend to buy a lot of active items on Queen of Pain, like common items like Blade Mail, Veil, Orchid, Yules, BKB. All these items also like benefit from cooldown reduction. So and yeah, HP over attack range, just because again, like you blink allows you to reposition. You have 550. Like yeah, like blink is basically what allows you to get the hits in, and like being able to blink in and not get focused because you're tanky is more valuable than having a bit more attack range, because yeah, you're gonna be blinking next to enemies anyway. It's especially your Scream of Pain is very, like the radius not too big, dagger not the biggest cast range, so you kind of play close up anyway with Queen of Pain. So yeah. So against the mid shaker, it's a matchup you should like easily dominate. Like Queen of Pain is one of the strongest laners and should be able to dominate almost any melee hero. Again, I don't want to focus too much on laning. Finish a couple points. Like so far, playing very passive.
Yeah.
He does not even have a stout shoot. Like he should have a PMS even, but he doesn't even have a stout shoot. So because your right clicks hurt him a lot, and you should just like push him from the lane. Like here, going to hit him on his high ground when he's that close to you allows him to actually get a return hit in. So you trade hits even though he's melee in your 550 range. Like that shouldn't happen. The point is that you abuse your range by hitting him when he can't hit you. So like not only do you have the range advantage, but you have a slow and a blink. Like yeah, and against melee heroes that have no way of dodging or moving in SlashStrike, getting 2 points in it is not bad. Especially because unlikely that you're gonna be bursting him with Scream of Pain, right? Because he's a tanky strength hero. Now against the PMS, now he's harder to deal with. But anyway, I'm gonna, because we don't have like whole lot of time left, so I'm just gonna fast forward a bit past the laying stage.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, this game was like super. It was like just a wipe, just kind of like what we had earlier, but we started coming back towards the end.
I mean, you haven't died so far yet, so let's see how this goes. So, let's take a look at this fight. What went wrong?
Too close.
So yeah, first like levels, the Super is on 6, but Shaker is, I mean, it's a mid Shaker. Actually Rubik is on 6 either. So yeah, like, they're all stunned. Like, you're moving close for the 3-man Scream, that's fine. But as soon as you land Scream, like, this is where you need to take a step back, because there's no reason for you to, like, yeah, be in melee range basically.
Right.
And you also have like a 3-man ult, like, easily available there.
Yeah.
And yeah. And like Queen of Pain in general is like, it's all about knowing when you can commit and when you cannot commit. Like the hero in general, the way you play it is you don't commit until the fight is basically over. Like you only start blinking to chase when the enemies don't have an option of turning, because
Yeah.
like either numbers disadvantage or all their spells are on cooldown or they're too low HP, stuff like that. And before that you kind of just keep your distance, like either you save the blink or you blink to places where there's no way for them to like punish the fact that you just use your blink. That's on cooldown. Also, like you're playing all this time, or like you're just sitting on intelligence threads, which is risky because like if you die, it's gonna be by getting bursted before you can blink out, like either through stuns or silences. So in that case, you want to have as much HP as possible to survive that burst. That's why you need strength.
The strength. Yeah.
Yeah. Like let's say here you haven't cast a single spell yet, but you already lost half your HP, or like 2/3 of your HP, and like that was all on intreds. So yeah, so in general, like the enemies are 5-manning a lot, and yeah, you can't like just run into them alone, especially when you're not 5 with your team. But you could take this time to like push other lanes. For example, if you replay a bit, wind back. So wait, this is the fight. Yeah, they kill you. Okay. So you respawn. So you see the sniper bottom, you see Clockwork top, and 3 heroes missing. Right, TP bottom. Yeah, another thing is that Queen of Pain is like the top, one of the top heroes at counter ganking with a TP, because obviously you have a built-in blink. And what that means is that you want to make sure you have your TP available as often as possible.
Yeah.
Alright, so anyway, you see now a bunch of heroes moving, like Shaker TP's to the lane, Disruptor moving here, Clockwork moving here, Sniper was already there. And this is the part where you realize, like, if you're gonna fight this, you need your Ursa, for example, because like he's the frontliner, you cannot frontline as co-op. Monk King TP's in, but Ursa is not coming, doesn't even have a TP, or he's buying one now and it's on cooldown. Okay, so you know that Ursa's TP is on cooldown, like you have to realize, okay, there's no way you take this fight because it's 4 versus 5, and you're missing your Ursa, which is second highest net worth hero. So, like, but these are all things that you can check like as soon as you see them gathering. Of course, it's not easy, and like that's even higher level games. That's one of the most important things, to how quickly you can recognize where the enemies are grouping up, if you can fight them or not, and then quickly reacting. Because imagine, like, really good, like the better you are, the faster you realize all these things. So if you realize that as soon as you saw them here, then you would already be mid, already pushing this wave, and you'll be pressuring the tier 1, and they might get your tower because you're not there, but then you'll be trading it for mid, which is completely fine, because you're basically keeping the advantage even. You're like, they're progressing in items, you're progressing in items, and you keep doing it until you reach a point in items where you are actually able to fight them. Like, for example, you pick up your BKB, or Ursa picks up his BKB. I mean, BKB is like the most common example, but Like it could be that, it could be you get like some crucial, I don't know, silver edge or some shit if they have a bristle, stuff like that. Like you hit your item timings, then you can actually fight them. But what happens now is they kind of just sit on this lane. They run at you, you have to back because you can't fight them because there's no Ursa. So you're just kind of just running back and forth with low HP, not really farming. So you still lose a tower eventually. It's just that you didn't get anything done while losing it. And like this mid lane is still pushed and this tower is still full HP. And it's like one of those concepts that I was mentioning. Like if you had to sum up in like one word, how like what separates better players from worse players is how much importance you place on pushing out lanes, because that's really what Dota's about. Like pushing lanes, like it doesn't matter like what happens afterwards, because there's a couple outcomes. Like you push a lane, and by pushing a lane I don't mean going for a tower and hitting it, I just mean killing the creep wave so that your creeps run forward. So like one of two things happen: either an enemy hero comes to farm it and defend their tower, like make sure the tower doesn't take damage, in which case you get information like, okay, this enemy hero is there, you see him thanks to your creeps. Second option is no enemy hero comes, and then you know first of all that okay, they're up to something because no one is defending this lane, and second of all, you actually your creeps deal some damage to the enemy tower, and like eventually like the tower's gonna fall, or eventually you're gonna push it or whatever. So like following that, you basically conclude like by pushing creeps you get information, and that's why you should always be pushing waves. So especially with a hero that can, like, there are some heroes of course that first of all are bad at it, and also don't want to be doing it in the first place because that means they're showing on the map. Like let's say a Slardar doesn't really want to be pushing waves because if he shows on the map then the enemies are not scared because they know okay, Slardar is here. But of course the Queen of Pain is one of the best heroes to do that because you have a built-in blink. Like you move very very quickly around the map, you're hard to catch, you make good use of farm, and yeah, just because you're showing on a wave doesn't mean the enemies feel safe because you can quickly get to a fight anyway.
Alright.
So this was a pretty huge fight, considering they had a bit of a lead. Like you got a bunch of kills, like that was a nice Sonic wave, did by far most damage, get a bit of gold lead back. So yeah, you go for the Orchid first item here, which it's okay. Really disagree with the skill though. Again, like the level 4 blink is so important. Whether your SlashStrike is level 1 or 3 like doesn't do anything. But like the max blink is, again, like those 3 seconds, yeah, they can definitely make the difference when living or dying.
Right.
So again, I mean, this looks like a bit of a classic like non-stop fighting pop. Here you went for the kill. It's a bit unfortunate the Shaker survived, but again, like the enemies are just grouping up non-stop, and like you guys are kind of just like going into them one by one, getting kills because they're strong at fighting. They already have a lead. So again, let's follow the advice I was giving earlier. Like forget what happened in this game so far, and like look at it objectively from this point onward. So like you're still quite far from the Orchid. Can't really solo kill people easily. Also can't 5-on-5 fight them.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you want to do? You want to split push lanes and make sure that they cannot group up. I mean, they always stay the welcome, so they actually feed you a bunch of kills, and now things look okay. But again, you want to make sure. So think about it, like they just took your tier 2 mid. You have only tier 2 top and bottom left. And okay, you killed them just now, but they're gonna respawn. What are they gonna do next? They're gonna go for one of the other tier 2s, most likely. So what do you want to do? You want to push out those waves to make sure it takes them longer. Like, okay, it's like it's a nice kill on Shaker. So your team pings the tier 2 top, but there's no way you get it because the enemies are strong right now, and if they just move there together, you have to back. But it's still fine because you forced them to be there. I'm gonna go to Radiant Vision. So yeah, like, see, you push the lane, you get information, Shake and Rubik show. Yeah, you know where they are, and that information allows you to go for Roche. It's not going very fast, necessarily still a bit on the front, but you get the Roche. So now, they push the lane out, you don't see them anymore. And like now, this is where you wanna get back. This blink is... okay, you do die for it. I mean, obviously I haven't seen the replay, so I don't know if you die for it or not. But I was like, it's just... without actually knowing the outcome, you can already like, tell that it's a bad blink because, like I just mentioned, you don't see the enemy heroes. Like Shaker was top and he's not top anymore, so obviously he's gonna be coming mid. He's not gonna like run like this, right, to farm bottom or some shit. No, he's gonna run through mid for sure. And by blinking into the enemy tower, and again that's the other thing I mentioned, it's level 3 blink, not level 4. Your int treads, so yeah, the HP to work with is very, very low, and all these things just mean it's very likely for you to die. Like Disruptor didn't even use ult, but didn't have to. And you also like run into the Shaker spells and the shrapnel. But like so many like of these other things I mentioned, if they were different here, for example, you wouldn't die. Like, which like, well, the strength treads, having the strength HP talent, and also having the max out blink, all those things would mean that you don't die. But even with those things in mind, like the blink itself is bad because you risk your life just to kill the Disruptor, which doesn't give you anything. Like killing the Disruptor doesn't really slow down their 5-man push because they still have the lead, and you still don't have a BKB, so you still have like a clear way of fighting them. So a much better play is to blink this way, go bottom, push this out, like reach this tower, force them to go there, then you just like farm the jungle, and just keep pushing waves, like delaying the part where they just reach your towers and you can't respond. Because obviously once they're at your tower, then it's too late to split push, because then like if they're hitting your tier 3 and then you start running bottom, you're gonna lose your tier 3. So like, that's where you see like how important it is, like how quickly you react, basically. But yeah, if you look at it from their perspective, like let's see, like right now they're here, they're gonna go for this tower, your Monkey King is dead. Like it's hard enough for you guys to take fights 5-on-5, so if it's 4-on-5, like you have no chance basically. So, and like here you go for jungle camp, and that's like jungle camps, by farming jungle camps you only take space instead of making it, and that's basically really bad to do when you're behind. When you're ahead, like all the lanes are pushed, that's when you farm jungle camps, because like there's no more space to make, like you're far ahead, you have all the space in the world, and that's where you want to build up on your lead by farming jungle as well. But when you're behind, with the hero that's good at pushing out lanes, you should never ever farm jungle, because that's just time that you could spend pushing lanes instead. So now you go mid, and that's great, but it's late, because like now they're already, like Sniper's already hitting this tower. Like, this tower is half HP, and you haven't actually reached the tier 1 yet. So imagine you don't stop for that camp, or like you actually run mid even earlier, then maybe you're hitting this tower, and this tower is half HP while Sniper just starts hitting this. Suddenly like you're getting the better trade, because you're actually gonna get a tower for sure. Maybe they start wondering like, oh, we're losing our mid tower, does someone defend? They start keeping heroes back. Then you have like potential, like, okay, then like, okay, this hero is out, maybe then you TP bottom and you can fight them, because they're not 5 anymore. And if no one TPs, okay, then you just get the tower. And of course, like, there's some risk of you dying, but they need to TP quite a bit of heroes to actually get the kill on you and stuff like that, so. But the point is, like, you're also farming in the process. If you get the tower, it's even more money. And you're getting closer to those key items that you need to actually be able to take fights.
Right.
Because yeah, it feels like you can't do anything right here, and it is true, like, the moment you win, you're just dead. But that's exactly because you don't have those items that you need, because Imagine like right now, 21 minutes. If you have Orchid BKB, like these guys are all dead because like you kill the disruptor, your BKB, they can't touch you. Everyone else is half HP because of your ult. You start chasing them, your team comes in. But because you don't have the items, like yeah, it's not happening. And this tier 1 mid is like still over half HP. And like all this stuff I said about pushing lane, it's and lanes and towers, like the tier 1 mid is the most important out of all of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, look at the technicalities of these fights. Like this is again another moment where you should have been on strength treads. Even if you like, yeah, you're blanketing, you're gonna be casting all your spells, but you should still be on strength treads because the only way you survive is by like not dying in those 6 seconds it takes for your blink to cool down. And yeah, if you look at it, it was kind of close. I mean, you probably still die even with strength treads, but maybe with strength treads and the talent, you might have survived long enough to blink back out.
Yeah, is that good for now, man? Maybe we can pick this up another time.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, because we started a bit late as well. Let me see. Yeah, okay, we started like 10 past. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of stuff to say, but I hope you gotta start getting the general picture. And yeah, if you have some, like, try to apply it to your other games.
Yeah, sure.
A bit unlucky with the unranked game, because didn't really have anything to talk about there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Alright, yeah, hope it was useful, and just message me again if you want to do some more.
Sure, for sure.
Alright, man. See ya.
Alright, have a good day.
Right, boys, thanks for watching. I will upload this VOD to YouTube, most likely.